Trey, of course it's a long season. You play a lot of games. You came off 3 games in 7 days last week, and now you're starting another one Wednesday with 2 on the road at the end. What do you do off the court to keep yourself fresh?
Um, Really just kind of spend time with, the teammates, or just to myself. Really just try to get away. Just I don't know, do schoolwork, stuff like that, just to get away from basketball.
How much, in a typical night, how much sleep do you get?
Um, I would say 8 or 9.
Do the coaches demand that kind of thing? They give you suggestions on how to keep yourself fresh?
Coach gives us off days, so on the off days he just says get away from the game. Altogether, just get treatment. The only time you should really be in the Pete. Because it's kind of stressful, just being here all the time. So just getting away. That's probably the best thing you could do.
Trey, how have you seen Justin change as a player and just a competitor since he first got here?
Justin. He's grown on the basketball side mentally. When he first got here. I would say for all the freshmen, they didn't really know what to expect. So just like we did last year. We weren't in the gym as much, but the older guys we kind of trying to show them like be in the gym. So I think that's pretty much the biggest thing. He just stays working, stays hungry. After the 30-point game, he was in the gym like at 1 o'clock in the morning, just working still.
Did you see a guy when you first started practicing with him that you thought would be a 30-point scorer as a freshman, and did you see that coming in him?
I knew he could score and get rebounds, but a 30-point night, and then he consistently puts up like 20-point games. So I didn't really expect that. I was expecting like 15 here or there, maybe 1 or 2 20 or 30-point games. But he's starting to do it consistently, so that just shows how much work he's been putting in.
How much of a relief is that for yourself and X and the rest of the guys to know that you have kind of that third, maybe fourth scoring option out there with you?
That's a big relief coming into the season. Of course, you want to lose yourself into the team, but it's always a pressure that if you don't do good or score, because you feel like your team gonna rely on you so much, and you feel like that's your role. That if you don't score, then the chances are decrease by a lot. Just having Justin playing well, that just takes a lot of stress off us, where we can just pass, not force things, stuff like that.
I figure jealousy is probably isn't the right word, but given what you and X and Dundee's went through last year, where you came in right away, like you all were being leaned on and counted upon so much. Do you ever look at the situation that Justin's in or talk to him and be like, man, you've got it pretty easy compared to us?
I wouldn't say that. I feel like it's easier on us. Just with him doing all that. So, it's a lot less stress than last year because we got players that coach brought in and players just worked hard this summer doing to be able to compete at a high level.
It's obviously nice for you, I'm sure, to have some kind of take some of that load off you a little bit. But was there sort of a trust building process with that where you guys got to a point where you felt comfortable being like, okay, this is a guy who's worth maybe taking more shots, maybe taking some of this load off of us? Did you guys, or how much of a process did you guys go through with that?
At the beginning of the season, he kind of took the same shots. They just didn't fall as often. But, that just comes to show with the work he's put in and learn just throughout the year that you just got to work to be good at what you do.
Trey, how different does it feel for you in year two? There was so much made before the season. Oh, Trey and X going into year two, they'll take huge leaps and they'll have all this experience. How are you feeling that kind of payoff as we're in the thick of ACC play now?
I feel like it's paying off real well. The biggest thing for me and X is just getting off social media. I know last year and this year we just like to just see what people are saying about us, and a lot of it was negative. So I feel like that kind of affected us a lot. Rather we talking to coach when we were like really down, I feel like that might have put us like more in the slumps than like we actually put ourselves into. Just seeing a lot of negative things and feeling like we have to do better. So when coach talked to us about just losing yourself, getting off everything, That just really helped a lot because now we're just playing, getting our teammates involved, and then when we feel that we need to attack here or try to take over a game here, it just makes it a lot easier because we're in the flow of the game, in a rhythm.
What's it like playing some games here as we move through February and March where there's like a legitimate chance you guys could get an NCAA tournament bid or you're going to be playing deep into the postseason? Just how does that sort of manifest itself in, I don't know, the way you think, the way you go about your business or anything like that?
I mean, it's just a different sense of urgency than the first half of the AC schedule. I mean, we sat down as a team, just looked at our record, and then we just said we got 10 games left. Let's take it from there, and let's just forget about everything that happened before. It's a new season. So, I mean, the biggest thing is he just talks about we're 2-1. We just got to keep winning and taking advantage day after day.
You guys have played pretty well at home. You had a good crowd the other night. Do you feel like that you guys are building something sort of at the same time that the fan base is building, where you guys are getting a little better, you're getting some more people out at the games, and then that helps you guys do even better on the court?
Most definitely. Coach is big on culture. I mean, when Coach Cable came in, that first class, his hashtag was Zoo Era. So, I mean, that just goes with the fans, and I mean, along with the team, brick by brick. So we're just taking it one step at a time, one day at a time.
Given the situation that the team's in now, dealing with some injuries, where during games, it's very possible that you and X have to play 40 minutes. How do practices change? Do they get a little bit, do they get a little bit less intense in some ways, where Coach kind of tries not to work you guys too hard or overdo it?
I wouldn't say less intense. The biggest thing Coach stresses, like a day like today, he'll be like, we're moving half speed, but talk and intensity 100%. So that's pretty much the biggest thing. Just staying staying attentive, just listening, and just being able to talk to one another.
We had talked a little bit earlier today with Coach Capel about this, about how one of the big things last year was from pretty much mid-January on, the team kind of fell into a little bit of a tailspin. And he had talked a lot about how, especially you all as freshmen had kind of hit a wall. You all obviously have moved past that point now, but what do you think makes this team different to where they wouldn't get hit with that kind of a run? And how do you as a player feel different too? Because you were somebody who was impacted by that last year.
I would say a different type of leadership this year. I mean, just what the guys went through last year. I mean, the biggest thing was just building every year. So whether that's days, weeks, games, we're just trying to get better and just find a way to win. The coach's biggest thing that he stresses is just find a way.
How much more of a comfort is there now, in close games? Because you guys last year, I think it was at the under 8 timeout of like all but a couple games, you all were within 2 possessions, but obviously ended up losing a bunch of those. How much, I mean, in those situations, how much more comfort is there this year? How much more confidence is there?
It's a whole lot of more confidence. That's just a sign of maturity from this summer, and just the confidence coach has put in us to where, I mean, he'll say what he has to say in the huddle, and then we'll go out there and execute, settle down, not really force things or feel like we got to make a big play. We understand that it's a one possession game. One possession at a time, so we just have to take that approach.
What do you remember from those games against Clemson last year?
They play with more energy than us, and I mean, it's a hometown school, so I mean, of course, I wanted to play well. So just putting too much pressure on myself instead of just relaxing and playing.
Having played them twice now, I mean, does a game like this still take on a different meaning? I mean, you grew up, 7 or 8 miles from their campus. Does it still kind of carry an extra significance?
I would say, like, as I just learned, I would say, like, we just take every game, like, try to take the same approach, and just let the game come to me. Don't force it or feel like I have to have a good game.
Are you glad your freshman record still stands? And do you think it could be in trouble before the end of the season?
I think Justin's gonna break it. How he's playing, and then hopefully how many other more games we have left.
There have only ever been 4 games in Pitt history where a freshman scored 30 points, and they're all by guys that are on this team. What's that kind of say about the talent level you guys are building here?
I mean, that just shows the type of talent that Coach Cable and his staff brings in, and just the work they put in with us to help us develop.
Is there any like formal club that you guys have, like the 30-point club? Was there an induction for Justin?
Nah, but nah, we were just like really excited for him. Just to see the smile on his face as he like walked off the court. Kind of like the same thing I had, I think, Louisville game when I hugged Coach walking off the court. So, it was just good to see that. That is always a good feeling.
How badly did you want him to get 32, though? That would have been your 10th assist, right?
Yeah, but, the biggest thing, I just wish he would have got that last board, the D snatch from just 30 and 10. That would have been a big accomplishment.